Good evening, welcome to You Can't Handle the Truth Movies. My name's Chris, this is James, and tonight we're going to review Sonic the Hedgehog 3.
You can't handle the truth!
Sonic, Knuckles, and Tails reunite against a powerful new adversary, Shadow. A mysterious villain with powers unlike anything they've ever faced before. With their abilities outmatched, Team Sonic must seek out an unlikely alliance in Jim Carrey. I'll start. Screw it. Visuals. We have watched a lot of films lately. Yeah?
Yeah.
New films, old films.
Who'd have thought?
And we've constantly been saying CGI's getting worse. CGI's getting worse. Like, they have all this technology and they do. And do you know what really makes it stand out? Is a film like this where they go, let's just create some complete characters that are, completely made up and everyone has to act with them. And that looks better than half of the blockbusters I've seen. I'm sorry, but I think the visuals in this film are way better than some of the films we've seen recently.
So I thought the visuals were pretty good for the kind of movie it is, because when they were all in the CGI aspect, as soon as there was only a brief scene where they put Tails, Knuckles and Sonic into the real world, and it was the real world. It wasn't CGI behind them, and they stood out a bit. But for most of the movie, it was quite consistent. It was bright. The characters look like the characters are meant to look like from the first movie, because the internet kicked up about it, didn't they?
I remember that.
And good. Because I don't know why they make movies and then change the characters to not look quite like that's the character. Make it look like the character.
Yeah.
And
They
like
tried to make it look more realistic.
Yeah,
and
it's a
everybody
Sonic
hated
movie. It looks like a Sonic world. It's got Sonic characters in it. It was good. There's obviously bits in it that were not quite, like when they're in the restaurant with them Japanese things. Like the colonel or the general comes in and he looks like he's just been plopped on the top. He didn't look very good. But overall, it's pretty decent. I don't know if you'd agree with this, and this is a very small comment I wasn't going to make. I think Sonic should be a little darker blue. Just a shade or two.
Ooh, yeah, they have brightened him up a bit.
Because he's got lighter and lighter, and it's just like my eyes are going and in the game he's like a deep blue. Now he's getting more like a sky blue. But I'll leave that there because it's getting a bit too...
I think you're complaining about small detail. But that's a good thing. When you can go, I think he might be a bit too lighter blue. That is your way of saying, do you know what?
He looks like Sonic.
It looks pretty good. Fair play. Characters. You got Jim Carrey, you got Ben Schwartz, you got Keanu Reeves. Just the cast, as a cast, it's great.
We might disagree here.
Here we go.
It is a great cast, but Keanu Reeves, it was just like he was reading the lines like this on the piece of paper. And I mean, he kind of is a bit monotone in most movies anyway. I'm not knocking Keanu, but I just felt like if you listen to the voices of Sonic and Knuckles now, they had life and character and bubbliness and all that which matched the film. And when Keanu spoke, he didn't even do anything funny with his voice or anything. He just spoke like Keanu Reeves, really monotonely. And it was just...
Shadow's
he didn't add... I get that, but it didn't change at all ever through the movie.
Whereas Idris Elba, he's hilarious.
Yeah, I just think he was underutilised, and at the beginning of the movie, one thing I really liked is when Shadow come in, because I don't know who Shadow is, and they were having that battle in the city. I thought, this is going to be okay. It's not my kind of movie. It's a bit too young for me to watch, but I'll watch it and enjoy it. I won't watch it again, but I'll watch it and enjoy it once, and it looks like it's going somewhere. But then all through the middle, Shadow's not really a main element of it. It goes back to being Jim Carrey. I was liking seeing Shadow. He comes back in at the end, and I thought he was just going to be a bit more the bad guy or the good bad guy, whatever he is, throughout the movie. And he was just kind of in the beginning, then at the end.
I get what you're saying. Double Jim Carrey.
I mean, if you can't handle one Jim Carrey, I don't know how you're going to handle two Jim Carreys.
There was a lot of just expression to deal with.
Well, that's what
Jim Carrey's good at.
That's what he's good at, yeah.
I don't think playing Robotnik's granddad, he quite looked old enough.
I thought it was going to be him from the future or something, and then it turned out it was his granddad. I was like, oh, okay.
But there were some really scenes in it that were really stupid that I really enjoyed, that I know people won't enjoy, where they're both wearing the spandex, where Jim Carrey's wearing a spandex suit in both of them, and he's a bit chubby and as one, and he's a bit even bigger as the other, and they're doing the dance through the lasers. That I found hilarious. I know that my son Oliver, who's 9, found that really annoying.
I found it annoying. And I found the bit at the beginning when he was in the chair and span around, they were watching him, I was like, Yeah, that's pretty funny. And I don't mind Jim Carrey. I really like some of his stuff, and some of his stuff gets just too repetitive.
Yeah.
It's like, it's not that I don't like it, it's just like I've seen it every single movie he's done. So when he does something different, because he's someone, believe it or not, does have quite a good range, because he's done some dark movies, he's done some light movies, he's done some comedy movies. He's not just doing the same Ace Ventura kind of slapstick. But in this, by halfway through or so, I was just like, it's literally like he was just trying to entertain children, which is the purpose of the movie.
100%.
But it weren't doing nothing for me. It was just a bit too much slapstickiness. There weren't no imagination in the jokes or the setup. They were just as you expected, and then he just did them.
I could tell which jokes were for kids and which...
That leads me on to the references. They did so many references in the movie that half the audience that the movie was intended for wouldn't have been alive to know what they were talking about.
But that, I think, is for the adult.
They didn't need to do that. It was pointless. In fact, it just deterred from the movie.
Did it though?
Yeah,
it wasn't that
did.
bad.
It did, because
I think when Idris Elba was like, said, they do just look like Pokemon and things like that. I thought they were...
And that was okay, but like there was speed reference and that, which was Keanu, and I get it, but it was like it didn't add anything to the movie.
What did you like about the movie?
It looks like a Sonic movie.
Yes, it does.
I like the beginning of the movie. It was very light-hearted, and I was like, oh, we're going to get into it, and the battle got on quickly, and he was teleporting around, and there was some new stuff in it. Comedy aspect was okay. It was very easily watchable. So I liked the cast. It was a good cast. What did you like, Chris?
I liked a lot of that film. I have the privilege of seeing lots of kids' films with my kids at the cinema.
At least he doesn't just go by himself, because that would be a bit weird.
That would be strange. And a lot of the films we go to see, I sit there thinking, I hope the fire alarm goes off and I can get out of here early.
I can imagine.
But this film, sat watching it with my kids, they were laughing, they were giggling. I was sat there pleasantly surprised at some of the jokes, and I think Idris Elba's Knuckles is one of the best characters. I keep mentioning his name because I realised that when I was...
Knuckles was the best character.
Listing names. Yeah. There's the break the glass.
And my teeth have muscles and all that. Like, he was the best character.
Yeah. Really, really brilliant. And I just found myself enjoying it. I didn't have to think. I didn't have to read too much into the plot. I just sat there and going, it's a good giggle with my kids. And I enjoyed that. And that's a different experience from you. I know you don't have kids, so you don't get to...
No, but I'd still watch it and enjoy it for like a one-off. But I wouldn't watch it again because I found like it was started quite good, but I just found it got a bit almost boring as it continued. And then by the end, it went so over the top. It was like Super Saiyan, some sort of ridiculous...
Yeah, the Master Emerald and...
Yeah, but the whole point of that sort of stuff is it's the thing that happens at the end that's I suppose it is the third movie, but like they were moving them hedgehogs.
They were moving.
Yeah, I don't know a lot about it, but I just thought it was a bit OTT at the end.
I thought that was great. Things that I disliked. Right at the end, you got the credits. They introduced the Amy Hedgehog, the pink one with the hammer.
Yeah.
And they introduced the robot Sonics, which shows you that Robotnik's still alive. And then you get all the credits, and then you get the little shot of Shadow picking up his cufflink. That's a whole thing that like Disney and Marvel have been doing with their films and DC. You didn't need... It's a kids' film. The kids watching it do not have the attention span to sit and wait to the end of the credits to see that tiny little clip. So I tell you what my kids were doing, cartwheels in the cinema, and I couldn't tell them off because all the other kids were being just as annoying.
That sounds like a health and safety issue to me.
They don't have the attention span to sit there through 10 minutes of credits to watch one... They're not going to read the credits either. Half of them kids can't read.
They did that whole thing... As soon as he said it at the beginning, James Marsden's character... Again, he wasn't in the movie very much, considering how close he was to him in the first movie and that.
Yeah.
But I knew they were going to do that, link it to that at the end, and I felt nothing from it at all. Usually you get a bit of a kind of moment, like, and you have like that link where you get what the movie's trying to feel, whatever, and I did not feel anything from that. So a half-hour short movie would have done it for me.
Just because you're a heartless bastard.
But it might be. But I did like his donut top.
I've
been trying to find one myself.
I saw that. Yeah. I went, I wonder if I can get one of those.
Do we have any plot holes?
There definitely probably was.
So how did Shadow, when he goes all golden with his emerald, just knock him out of it? He just kind of went, Meh, and just knocked it out of him. And then they both went, and then they both became super turbo, whatever they are. And then they were both kind of equal fighting. But when he wasn't like that, he just knocked out of him anyway.
Because he didn't have control. And if you look at the game, if you think back to the games, how the games worked, you knock into a spike and then all the rings come out of you. You knock into a bad guy and it was that.
Okay,
it was a reference to how the games
I'll allow it. That's alright. We've got to rate this thing.
Okay. Out of 10. Now, this is why you compare it. And you said, I never have films to compare it to. But we did watch Minecraft. And we watched this after Minecraft. This came out before Minecraft. We watched it after. Which one would you say was better?
For me, they would be on about a par.
I would put Sonic better than Minecraft. Which I'm very surprised at because...
I wouldn't watch either again. I'm giving it like a 5.6.
Ooh,
because I could sit down and watch this movie and I wouldn't be offended by it and I would get through it. But I wouldn't want to sit down and watch this movie.
See, I know that I'll be made to watch this movie and the Minecraft movie several more times.
So you'll come to hate it.
There was more in this movie that would keep me interested than in a Minecraft movie. I can't remember what I gave the Minecraft movie. Probably a 6.5. I'd probably give this a 6.7. Should we go for a 6.1 somewhere?
Oh, I was going to say 6.3.
Oh, 6.2 then.
That's another 6.2.
6.2.
6.2. You can't put it over there. It's over here. Sonic the Hedgehog. 6.2.
If you've got kids, give it a watch.
Yeah.
If you don't have kids, what are you doing watching a Sonic film, you weirdo?